Hello guys, it's Alex again with another video. And today I'm gonna talk a lot about mentality. But first, before I go into today's topic, I have to apologize for the video yesterday. The first 6 minutes are missing because I had major technical issues. I'm still having them today. I think my headset is breaking slowly. Some of the cables aren't connecting well anymore because my microphone keeps stopping to work. This is the third time I'm starting this video because my microphone does stop at some point. So I'm going to try to hold on to it and keep all the cables in place, I guess, in the hope that it won't break again. So yeah, my apologies. I'm gonna get a new headset, or in fact, I'm gonna get an external microphone. I believe is the best option eventually. But first, I'm gonna have to make some money. So for now, you have to contend with me. In any case, my apologies. I hope you didn't. I hope I explained, or the details I explained in it throughout the video gave back some of the summary information I gave at the beginning of the video that was missing. So, okay, today mentality. As if you watched my videos, you know that I talk a lot about controlling your emotions. That is a super important part in trading because, especially if you see my last 3 videos, you have seen that emotions can really mess up your trading and can cause a lot of damage. So emotional control is super key, and today I did quite a decent job. If you just look at my profit and loss, you can see I'm only green on one stock. And this one, I just lost 1900 on my last trade, which I'm going to go to in a second. But you can see I was cutting my losses on these 3 stocks here. I was cutting my losses quite quickly and coming out with minimal losses. So I did a really good job in controlling my exits. DFN was a little bit difficult because it jumped. I can show you the chart real quick. Where was it? Here, let me get this. So it got high and then it just dropped really quickly. And I realized that it's not coming back up here after this one didn't resolve, and then I tried to control do damage control and get out at not too low points, and I did get out quite here, which is quite low. But in any case, well, the point is it dropped really quickly, so I couldn't get out in proper time. Okay, now another good example of emotional control is AKTX, which I was trading all day today. Now it was a little bit difficult to trade because it rises a little bit, consolidates, rises a little bit, consolidates, and then it had this period where it was doing like 5-10 cent spikes, and then starts consolidating for 10 minutes. So that's very difficult to trade. In fact, the only 2 reasonably decisive moves agreed today are this one here and this one here. And of course, this one here, as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 candles. It took 10 minutes to rise. And that's very difficult because usually something rises, and especially with the history here, it rises for 1 or 2 candles and then it starts consolidating. So you don't know when to get in here. Getting in here might mean that you're just going to hold and it consolidates, and then it could go lower or higher. You don't really know, but it might take a long time. So you don't really know where to get in here. And this was a reasonably big move of, what was it, 425 to 480. Wow, that's actually a big candle. So that's a very big move. And then this one is a really big move, and which is a bit faster. This one was too fast to happen. That's why you don't see me do any trades here. In fact, I was watching it around this, and I was waiting for a breakout, but as this breakout happened, because I would have some later on. Classical breakout, you see, stock today, consolidating and then breaking out. And as it was breaking out, I got in, and then I took profits on the way up. And I held a small amount of shares. I think it was 300 shares, 350 shares. all throughout this move. And then I added here, and I got out here for good profits. Now, okay, what I wanted to focus on, the emotional trade that I did today. Okay, I traded consistently green on this one throughout the day, except for my last my last trade, where you can see here I'm getting in here for another breakout, another spike. The spike does not really happen. And in fact, it goes a little bit lower, and I add in here, and this was actually a mistake because it's a downtrend. I mean, this whole thing, if you see here, this is the peak, this is lower peak, lower peak. Well, this one isn't a decisive because this one is still not as low as this one. So, but still, it was not a really good add to add in here. Now I did add, and I got out here, and then here the rest. So I did almost break even. And no, sorry, no, I lost a couple of thousand. I lost 1900. God, I'm so confused. My apologies. The emotions that I want to talk about. So I was getting in here, and then, seeing that it's not really happening, and I realized that this is a downtrend right about this time when I realized slowly, and here I got out nicely with a quarter of my shares, and then not so nice. Flushed almost $1 here. I mean, it's not quite $1. It's like 70 cents. But that's a major flush, and you don't want to be in a stock when it does something like this. So, sticking to my plan and just, controlling my essentially hope. I got out here at a reasonable time. So the general market situation today, real quick. So there was volume pre-market. So just before the bell, it didn't look too. So looking at a couple of stocks. In fact, what happened then? Very small here today. That's not because there were few stocks I was watching. It's because my software crashed about 1 minute before the bell rang. It did that, and then only had a couple. Not after opening, and then of course the market started trading, and I didn't have time to finish this one. So yeah. So I was watching a couple. Look at that's actually ALRN, and here PABM. Okay, no, not too much. I wanted to be careful. Was I and then the same thing happened here. What was my first trade on this one? Oh yeah, it was here. Okay, so you looking to beautifully. This I'm buying in here, but then it fades and I get out. It's cutting my losses for $127. Okay. TEUM. Yeah, similar thing. So I missed this initial spike, and then I thought, okay, I was getting into this pullback and hoping that it will go somewhere, but it didn't, and then I had to get out for a small loss. DFFN, I can show you that was particularly annoying. As you can see, my loss was the biggest. This had spiked here, not too resolutely. You see indecision candle, indecision candle. It was not too convincing. And I was getting into this micro pullback. And then I added here thinking that, you know, this might be a shorter pullback, given that this is not as low as this one. But that was wrong. So it does keep flushing, and then I get out here, controlling my loss. So that leaves AKTX, which is the only stock I traded profitably. Uh, do the quick calculation here. We have, oh yeah, 7 cents was it previously. And if I go now to 91080 times 2 divided by 400, let's say 30,000. That's now only 5 cents of profit, which is not too good of a profit. As I was trading this, and it was, so really I didn't look at these other stocks anymore after that. And I think this is a good lesson. Think the best runs the fastest, and that's why I kept trading every time I was profitable. And the good news is that if you do that, other trades are bad. If you do this, the one strategy that works religiously, you will eventually be green. Of course, you know, that you follow. So if you don't have that yet, but once you have one, you got to stick to that one. And if you stick to it strongly and religiously, it will work. Yesterday was the same thing. Yesterday afternoon, I saw an opportunity. Okay. So yeah. What's next? But where I was holding on for a long time. Yeah, here. So you can see I added for another break higher. It didn't end up doing that. It just consolidated. And I was very tempted to add in here, but I didn't, knowing my previous days' experiences that if I do that and it fails, my loss is going to be even bigger. And here it worked out well. I did make a decent amount of profit. Okay. Also, another thing. When you're confident about a trade, the bigger you go in, the more money you're going to make. Also, the higher you're risking to lose. So be careful. And Okay, the microphone was dead there for a minute. I don't know where it stopped working. Um, this is really frustrating. So I was talking about going in big, and it might sound intuitive, but you have to remember that your risk is also a lot higher if you keep if you buy in with large positions. So if you're confident and your trade works out, then you're going to make a lot of money. But if you're not confident and you're going with a big volume, with a big position, you're going to lose a lot of money. So yeah. Okay, now that being said, let's go into the video. Which one is it? Shit. One item selected, 4 gigabytes. That should be it. Here we go. Let me go in full screen and speed this up, and we can see my bad trade. So here you see there's nothing on my list because I'm still trying to scramble and get all the different stocks, but the list is already not open anymore, and it's very difficult. I don't remember which stocks I was watching. So now as the market opens, I'm just like, okay, I have to watch the momentum scanner, which tells me which stocks are moving right now. And I do this, and we see this one moving. Let me go a little bit faster even. Yep, I go in there with quite a large position. And yeah, I was trading PAVM at the same time. And that was another thing that I guess I cannot recommend. Don't trade too many stocks at the same time, because then you will fail to pay attention properly. So here we had this. I had to get out there. Here I was still holding, and I just got in here as well as it was moving up, and I take some profits because again I have to watch everything here. I'm getting into this one again, and 180, 210. You see me getting some profits. I added in, and I think this trade was the one that I was getting afraid of, but then I do make profits, and it just consistently keeps giving me profit. Whereas this one, I just got out, and I was paying attention to this one mostly, so I couldn't pay attention to the pattern here that was forming. So it's difficult. It's just difficult to focus on everything at the same time. Now this entire video is 2 hours long, and we're already at 17 minutes. So I think DFN here could be the last one, and I add here thinking that this is just a pullback, but it isn't, as I already explained. The spread here was a little bit high. The spread here was good. I mentioned the spread yesterday, and the spread is quite important, and we've had, especially on DFFN, quite a big spread today, so it was very difficult to trade. Okay, I think I already gave up everything that I wanted to say specifically, and especially on these trades, I already went through them. So yeah, we can just watch this chart if you want to. Now 1300 here and a 2000 here, and I missed getting out in time. I could have had one opportunity here. If I had watched this, I would have sold here for a minor loss, but I missed that one. I think this was the ad where I was too quick on the ad. I should have waited for a little bit more consolidation. Now, as I showed you previously, it did work out in the end, but I got pretty scared. And this was the moment where I was thinking, okay, well, not this moment, but a little bit later. Here, I was thinking, okay, should I add, or should I get out? I'm like, no, oh my God. And here, I was getting even more scared. But seeing that it's a constant struggle. And usually around the full dollar, there can be very quick jumps. There can be very quick jumps. It might be at 305 at one point, and then as soon as somebody goes, or as 3 gets sold through, suddenly we're at 280 or 290. Because this is just a full dollar is a good number where people focus on. That people focus on in their trading. It's easy to remember. It's easy to manage your trades. So it's these jumps will happen quite quickly around the full dollar. And now as it was coming back up, I was getting out and scaling out. And the last thing I'm going to say is I was scaling out. So I bought in, given that my maximum hotkey size is 3,000 shares. When I was buying 21,000 shares, I was obviously hitting my hotkey 7 times. And that is 7 trades, so I have to pay 7 times commission. And also, when I'm scaling out, I scale out quite a lot. Like I scale out, maybe 2,000 shares, 3,000 shares, and then I scale out 5, 6, 7, 8 times, which again accumulates the commissions. Now, I'm gonna pause this and I'm gonna go back here because I think you don't really need to watch this. So here I have 7,900, but if you look at my executions, or specifically on my orders, just on my order list, each one of these orders, it costs a certain amount of money, maybe $3 or $4. I don't really know. The simulator doesn't calculate them. So given that I have, I don't know how many this is. Is this 100 or 150? So it could be $500 in commissions. Now look at your broker. Some brokers use very little. TradeZero, for example, is quite cheap, and it only charges $1 per transaction. So even if you trade 10 times, that's $10. And if you make, so even this one here would be maybe $100 in commissions, right? Or 150 or something like this. And $150 of 8,000 is nothing. So it's quite okay to manage. All right, let me stop here because I don't think there's anything else I can say in the video. I'm thankful that the microphone worked most of the time here. I have to get a new microphone. Again, I'm sorry about yesterday, and you will hear the difference when I have a new microphone. So yeah, until then, bear with me, and I hope you learned something, and I'll see you again next time.